Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad we're going to have these few moments together. I want to talk to you for a few moments about what to do in a storm. We're in that point right now in our world with the crisis that is going global. But God has always got an answer for that, a real answer for you. You've got to understand something about God. He's been through this kind of stuff before. He knows what to do. He's always got the solution. And so I just want to share with you a moment from a story in the Bible. There's a guy by the name of Peter. He was one of the followers of Jesus. He happens to be in a boat one night with the rest of the disciples. They've just finished an event with Jesus. Jesus is taking time in prayer. They're crossing the lake that night when a storm arises. A storm of such magnitude that it would sink the boat that they're in. Now, these guys are professionals, many of them. They know how to handle themselves in a boat, on a sea, but it's getting out of control. And then they look out and they see something happening. Someone's coming across the water. And can you believe this? It's someone that's walking on the water. Now, they weren't sure what they were looking at. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be times where God is going to do something new. New as far as you're concerned. Something you've not yet seen him do before. But in that is going to be found your victory. I know there's anchors for our soul, things that we have that we can draw back on and say, this is it. We know God does this. But sometimes when you're facing storms, God's going to take you to a place that you've never seen before or ever experienced him like that. And that's what these guys are about to do. They've seen him open the eyes of the blind, give hearing to the deaf. They've seen him feed thousands of people with a handful of food. But who has ever heard of someone walking on a lake at night in a stormy time as that? Peter cries out and he says, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. Now pay attention to what Peter has just done. He didn't say since it's you because they don't know it's him yet. But it could be. And he calls out and he says, if it's you, would you tell me to come to you on the water? You know what I think Peter was doing? I think he was looking, listen to this, I think he was looking for the word of the Lord. Let me tell you something. A fisherman like Peter on a stormy night in a boat, there's no way me or you, we could have talked him out of that boat. There was no way that someone could have said, hey, why don't you jump overboard and see how it works out for you? He knew better than that. Fear would have gripped his heart. It just wouldn't happen. But he knew that one word from Jesus turns everything around. He knew that one word from him would stop the storm and the fear on the inside, would empower him to do something that he'd have never even dreamt he can do. So, Lord, if it's you, would you tell me to come to you on the water? Wow, what a great thing to do in the middle of a storm, to call out to him and say, would you speak to me? I'm listening for a word that will empower me and bring peace into my soul, Lord. You see, when the storm is coming on, you don't hear anything but the howling of the wind and the crashing of the sea. But there is another voice that will speak to you. It's the voice of the Lord. And that's what Peter cried out for. So he said, would you speak to me and tell me to come to you on the water? And Jesus, one word, he just said, come. And here he goes. Peter gets right out of that boat and he starts walking on that water, coming to Jesus. Now, I want you to see what happened to the guy. I talked to you about distractions and how distractions are the key tool of the enemy to keep us from keeping a focus on the one who always lifts us up. And the Bible says that Peter, when he looked around, he saw that the wind was strong. And he became afraid and he began to sink. Now let me address this again. He looks around and he saw that the wind was strong. And as I looked at that and I meditated that verse, the response that came out of my spirit was, so what? So what that the wind's strong? Now, please understand where I'm coming from, because you may say to me, well, Dale, what do you mean? You walk on water every day yourself? Oh my, I've never walked on water. That's not the point I'm making. I'm not saying, oh, well, he could have walked on water. I'm saying this. When the Bible says the wind was strong, my response was, so what? Meaning, what, if it wasn't strong, he could have walked on the water? If it was calm, he could have walked on the water? What was he thinking? It was not like, whoa, what am I doing out here? It's stormy now. Everybody knows you can't walk on the water in the storm. Well, here's the real truth. You can't walk on the water anyhow. It just doesn't work out that way. What was the point when he saw the wind was strong that he began to sink? It's because he simply got distracted. In the storms of life, they come up, and let me tell you, they come for many reasons. But one of the key reasons why trouble arises or events happen like they're happening now is because they're there for one key reason, and that is to distract you from the person of Christ, the victory that you have in him, and the answer and the solution he truly is. When Peter got distracted, he began to go down, but he's smart enough to know what to do. So he cried out and he said, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus saved him, and right back up on top of that water, Peter comes. Do you notice they went back to the boat, but they didn't swim back, and Jesus didn't drag Peter back. Don't forget this. Peter walked with Jesus on the water all the way back to the boat. And when they got in the boat, all the storm was gone. There's a day coming that this storm will go. I want you to understand that. But Jesus remains. He's there right now in the point of the storm. He'll show you how to walk, to literally dance on the problems that you're facing right now, because they cannot sink you when you have your eyes focused on him. Let him be the focus and the creator of your faith. Let me pray for you right now in that way. Lord, I'm asking a simple thing. I'm asking that you would fill our hearts, our eyes, our mind with the attention of who you are, that we would see the glorious one who's always been triumphant, the one with whom nothing is impossible, and the one who has something fresh, maybe something new for us to discover in him as we find this victory that you bring us through. I pray this upon every heart and every mind right now. I speak the word of the Lord to you, and I say, fear not, be not afraid, but in faith, step out into your miracle. All right? Wow. God bless you. Thank you for taking this time with me today. Hey, if you want to know more about our ministry, you can go to our website, daleeverett.org, and there you'll find resources, you'll find our schedule and where we're at as we're traveling this great world. And also, when you go there, there's a free download for you, too. It's called The Place Where Nothing is Impossible, and I think you'll enjoy that message. It'll show you how to enter a place in God where there are no boundaries, where there are no limits, there are no lids. That place is for you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Share this with someone. Like it, if you will. And make some comments about how God has helped you work through your storms in life. All right? I would love to hear from you. God bless you.